In this video, we're going to talk about solving equations with fractions. And there is more than one way to solve these problems. Just please realize that when you're doing these problems, I'm giving you some more examples to do it the way I suggest, which is clearing your fractions. Anytime you're solving an equation with fractions, you can clear the fractions by multiplying every term, that's important, every term by the LCD. Remember, an LCD is a multiple of the denominators. We're looking for the smallest value that when I multiply every term, the denominators will go away. So when we're looking at a problem like this, we need to make sure we understand what are my terms. So I underlined my three terms. I have a denominator in 2 of the 3, 12 and 6. So my LCD here should be 12 or 12 over 1. I'm now going to multiply every single term, which I have underlined, by 12 or 12 over 1. This will give me 12x, because nothing cancels for my first term. The 12s cancel for the second term, which leaves me with a 1. And the last term, 6 goes into 12 2 times, which gives me a 10. Now we can solve the resulting equation without any fractions. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. That gives me 12x equals 11. And I'm going to divide both sides by the 12. Make sure, again, you are canceling what you need to move to the other side by either adding, subtracting, or multiplying and dividing. So my answer here should be 11/12. Looking at my second problem, again, I'm going to start off. This is an equation, so I can clear my fractions by multiplying every term. So I again have 3 terms. I start by underlining those. I only have one fraction. Could I do this another way? Absolutely. But again, y'all get more anxious when you see a fraction. So in this case, my LCD is 5 or 5 over 1. So I'm going to multiply every single term by that. If there's a fraction, I'm going to multiply by 5 over 1. If there's not a fraction and it's just an integer, I'm going to multiply by 5. So I'm multiplying number 2 by the LCD, which is 5, or 5 over 1, every single term. So this gives me, for the first term, 5x over 5, which gives me 1x. Second term, nothing to cancel, so minus 5x. Be careful of the sign on the last term. It's a negative 40. 1 minus 5 would give me a negative 4x equals a negative 40. Divide by negative 4. Again, signs cancel. We're left with a positive 10 for my answer. Could I have done this a different way? Absolutely. Just remember that I'm trying to show you in this video how can I clear fractions if I am solving an equation with a fraction in it. Number 3, we have 5/4 x equals 1/2 minus 7/10. Yes, you could get common denominators to solve this, but I'm going to again do this by using the idea that because it's an equation, I can clear by using the LCD. And the LCD, remember, we're looking every term. So I'm looking at the 4, the 2, and the 10. So what would clear the 4, 2, and 10? What would be the smallest multiple of those 3? The smallest multiple of those 3 should be 20, or 20 over 1. So we're going to multiply each one of these by 20 over 1 because each one of them is a fraction. Could you multiply first? Yes. So the first term would be 20 times 5, which is 100, divided by 4. Or you can cancel, and you're going to get 25x. You can do it in your calculator as well. The second term, we're going to get 20 divided by 2, which is 10. And the last term, we would get, again, 140 divided by 10, or you could cancel. 10 goes into 20 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. Now my variables are, everything is in terms of integers. There are no fractions left. Already on the same side. So we can collect like terms. 10 plus a negative 14 gives me a negative 4. divide both sides by the 25. You could have gotten a common denominator on the right-hand side, subtracted the fractions, and dealt with it. But y'all tend to get more anxious with fractions, so if it is a solving equation, I recommend multiply by the LCD. Last one for this video is number 4, and this is a problem that I would first, because it's really easy to get confused on how many terms we have here, I would actually clear that parentheses first, just to make sure that we don't let that part confuse us. So that would be negative 4x equals 5 minus 5x over 6, because that goes to both pieces there. This is where y'all have to be careful. There is only 2 terms here, because that 6 divides into both pieces there. So my LCD here, I only have one denominator. So my LCD is 6, or 6 over 1, and you're multiplying every single term, which are these 2 terms here, by the 6. So that's going to give me a negative 24x equals, and I'm going to multiply this side by 6 over 1. That is all one term. Be careful. These 6's cancel. I'm left with 5 minus 5x. I now collect my like terms on both sides. These cancel. And that's going to give me negative 24 plus 5, which means I'm going to subtract and keep the sign of the larger. And then I will divide by the negative 19. We never generally leave the negative in the denominator. We generally put the negative on top or out in front. Write your LCD down. Make sure you're clear on how many terms you have.